So my name is Damien Dewitt, and I first started seeing Professor David in about 2005 after I had a car accident that left me with a head injury and in severe need of facial reconstruction. And if it wasn't for Professor David and his team, I wouldn't have my life as it is today. Okay, so I was driving my car on Sunday the 16th of January, just home from the service station, as you do, and I never made it home. Someone threw a rock through my windscreen and it hit me in the head, or took the right side of my head out, and I was taken by ambulance to Flinders Medical Centre, where they put me into an induced coma, and from memory that induced coma lasted for 5 days, and then from there it's a very big, it's a blur for me basically. I don't remember. All this has been told to me. The initial night of the accident I had 9 hours of brain surgery to remove part of my skull to release the swelling on my brain to allow me to survive that night, and from there I was able to survive, and I was spent about 2 or 3 weeks in Flinders Medical Centre. First week was in an induced coma, and then I woke up and I had to, couldn't open my right eye, and I wasn't really in any pain because of all the medications they had me on, and it was all a bit unreal to me. I just remember my dad telling me, you've been in an accident, son, it's okay, your car's fine, no one else was hurt, everything's okay. Which is all a bit of a lie, really, because my car was a write-off. But I guess he just didn't want to stress me out because he knew that I loved my car, and but he was doing the right thing just to keep me calm, I guess. And it just felt like, okay, I've been in an accident, but I'll be alright, a couple of weeks and I'll be out drinking beers with my mates again and doing everything that I used to do back at work, and that wasn't the case. It wasn't until about 12 months later that my head was still in bandages, and I thought to myself, wow, this is pretty serious. My life's never going to be the same again. That I realised how serious the accident was and how much it had changed my life. I lost it for the first 1.5 years after being diagnosed with epilepsy. Then I got it back, and I haven't lost it since.
And I hear you've got a family.
Yeah, I got a little boy, he's 3, just turned 3. Yeah.
And that must have been...
He is amazing, and every time I look at him I just go, yeah, that's the reason I didn't die that night.
Yeah. Was she your wife?
That was in the car with me that night?
No, just you have a wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. She must have been an amazing support.
Yeah, she was with me for about the last 5 or so of my operations, and my last operation was only about 2 months before we got married.
Oh wow.
So my hair was pretty short on my wedding day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly the greatest hairstyle. I'm not suggesting the one that I have now is, but it's a bit better than what it was on my wedding day.
So that's your hair?
Yeah. No, it just grew back.
It just grew back?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite lucky that it didn't scar over.
I have a scar, part where, because I had a skin graft taken from my leg and put onto my head, and it doesn't grow on that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I got that scar.
My muscle goes from here all the way back to here. Yeah.
Much bigger scar.
Well, it's not a competition, so I wouldn't worry. And I'm sure there's some person who's fallen off a motorbike that's got a bigger scar.
Yeah. Over.
I have a scar, part where, because I had a skin graft taken from my leg and put onto my head, and it doesn't grow on that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My muscle goes from here all the way back to here. Yeah.
much bigger scar.
Well, you know, it's not a competition, so I wouldn't worry. And I'm sure there's some person who's fallen off a motorbike that's got a bigger scar.
Yeah. So the person that...
Yeah, they did. He was a paranoid schizophrenic, so his problems caused my problems. It's the old story. Everyone's got their problems.
Yeah. That's terrible.
But you know, what difference does it make? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still here. I'm still alive. My life's just a bit different, that's all.
Yeah. Very...
You just got to take the positives. I mean, there's always someone worse off than you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being in hospital and I'd be thinking, oh, this is terrible, you know. And then I'd see someone buzz past in one of those wheelchairs with their head hung to the side and their tongue halfway out their mouth, and the glasses that are, you know, Coke bottle lenses. I thought, well, hang on a minute, my life's not that bad because look at that poor person. And that's terrible that it took me to see someone worse off to bring me back up, but I'm only human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me it wasn't so much a why, it was because it needed to be done, you know, as I had to, because of my, it was a traumatic accident damage that caused my, the trauma to my face, so I had to be reconstructed, you know.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know what the consequences of it not being done would be, but I imagine they'd be pretty severe. Part of my brain was exposed for starters.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Would have been...
pretty life-threatening.
Quite scary.
Yeah.
Rock.
Nothing. He's a paranoid schizophrenic, so they'd say get out of jail free pass. But that's okay, because look, at the end of the day, if you cut his hands off so he can never pick up a rock again and throw it at me or anyone else, how does that change my life? It doesn't. As long as he needs to get the help that he requires so that he doesn't hurt anyone else.
That's a nice...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's got his problems and his problems caused mine. And he didn't just hurt me, he hurt other people, but I was just the one that he hurt the worst, yeah.
It could have been anybody.
It could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like when you buy a cross lotto ticket, you might have the winning one, you might not. I had the winning cross lotto ticket that night, but not for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you missed that red, green light, well, that may have just saved your life.
Mm. It was a complete turnaround.
Yeah, it totally changed my life, but that's okay because I've learnt to deal with it, and I've adapted my way of doing things and how I've learnt my limitations and what I can and can't do, and I've changed my lifestyle to cope with those limitations.
So,
well, because of the damage that the rock hitting me in the head caused, it was obvious that I was going to need extensive facial surgeries to reconstruct my right eye socket or orbit or whatever they call it, and yeah, he was. It was an obvious choice that the Craniofacial unit and Professor David and everyone be involved because they are the best in the world, and I'm just lucky enough that I live in Adelaide and they're in my backyard, so I didn't even have to travel, so how lucky is that?
yeah.
So they were called in right from the start. And I think my first operation was on about the 30th of June or somewhere in June of 2005, my first reconstructive surgery. Which is only about 6 or so months after the initial accident.
And
I was pretty scared, I won't lie, because you go into the operating theatre and they got this big massive light above your head, and you go in this bed and it's really thin, and your shoulder blades either side sort of hang off this bed, and it's freezing cold in there because I guess it's a sterile environment, it's freezing cold, and then they put these warm blankets over you, and it's a bit daunting. It's something I was never used to, but after 14 or so operations, you sort of get used to it, and you say to the anaesthetist, "All right, Doc, give me the stuff and knock me out, but make sure you wake me up." Make a bit of a joke about it. But yeah, the first time was pretty scary.
is that Dr. Wall?
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've lost count to be honest,
Yeah.
but I always find it more impressive at a higher number. So you just try and just punch it up at a couple of extra numbers.
Yeah.
But I think it's somewhere in approximately 14 or 15. Yeah, well, I mean, that is true. Scary, tough, whatever you want to call it. You know, people look at you and go, "What's that bloke been up to?"
So, from anywhere?
Yeah, I got scars on my hips from both hips, and also my ribs.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but it's all bone now. There's no titanium.
Yeah.
It's just all me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a really big lump, like from my, I don't know if it was my cheekbone or what, but it used to be like way out here. And I remember waking up from the first surgery and I was in the worst pain that I've ever been in my life. And the pain was that bad I couldn't even talk to my family who were waiting there. And I just got my hand and just ran it down the side of my face, and that lump was gone, so I knew the pain was worth it. I mean, I still had a long way to go with the reconstruction process, but just to know that lump was gone was really worth it. Yeah, but that was pain like I'd never felt before.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any plans, but if they want me to do anything, I'll do whatever I can to make it, to do it. You know, well, basically, if they ask me, I'll never say no.
With the surgeries, with everything.
I think for me, the most memorable experience is when I first met him. He said a couple of things, but the thing that made me know that I was going to be right, he said to me, "Does your mouth hurt?" And no other doctor, out of all that I've seen hundreds and hundreds of doctors, and not one of them had said to me, "Does your mouth hurt?" And he's saying this to me before I'd even sat down in the chair in his office. And I said, "Yeah, it does." And for me, for him to know that before I'd even sat down in the chair, for him to talk to me, analyse me, whatever you want to call it, meant to me that he knew what he was on about. Because not one of the other doctors had said, "Does your mouth hurt?" And the first thing he said to me as I'm walking in, "Does your mouth hurt?" I went, "Yeah, it does. It hurts a lot. I can't even open it properly." And no one else had even bothered to ask me about my mouth. And he knew that straight away. That's the first thing he asked, is your mouth hurt? So I went, yeah, okay, this guy knows what he's on about.
So small things, but...
Yeah, but I just knew straight away that he knew what he was on about, and I was going to be right in his hands. Yeah, and that team's like a family, and they all know you, they all treat you like a family, and when you come here, whether it be for a checkup or an appointment to prepare for an operation or to see how the operation has gone and how you're progressing after the operation, you walk in here and it feels like you're coming to a family member's house or a gathering or something like that. It's like one big family, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, because...
Yeah, you make advantages of it, but at the end of the day,
it still
the pros never will outweigh the cons, because it sucks.
Yeah. But, and did you have many seizures, or?
I probably had about 25 all up, maybe more. I don't know. I stopped counting after about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's something that you always educate your friends about, and they're like, "Oh my God, what do? Do I call an ambulance?" I'm like, no, just don't call an ambulance. Unless it goes for a long time, then do it, but like mine are normally over in a minute.
Were they grand miles?
Allegedly, but you know, I won't give you a demonstration here. Oh well, the truth is, I couldn't have got through this experience without my family, in particular my mum. She was the pardon the pun, but she was the rock through this whole experience, and sometimes through you know, hardship like this, families either get broken apart or they get brought closer together, and my family really got tested through my mum, my dad, my sister and I. We really were tested through this, and we ended up being pulled closer together, and that's testament to my mum and her ability. And also through the support we got externally from places like Professor Dave and the rest of the craniofacial team. And it goes without saying the Flinders medical staff team, because they, especially in the emergency department that night, because otherwise I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, so I can't forget them. And it goes all the way back to the Ambos who were first on the scene that night. But ultimately, the experience has... someone told me once that maturity isn't measured in age, it's measured in experience, and this is one hell of an experience. So I'd consider myself to be pretty mature after such an experience. Yeah. But it's also made me appreciate life and change my outlook a hell of a lot. And I'll never worry about being late again.
Yeah.
Because 2 seconds can change your life.
That is